Hi, everybody. This is Adam Bronson, and this is Hey Bay City.
So, Adam Bronson, you and I met kind of as Woodworth was starting working on the building, which we'll get to in a second, folks. You're probably thinking, like, what building are they talking about? We'll let you know, don't worry. But work was getting started on the Allen Medical Building, and all of a sudden I had all of these messages from people going, hey, you should talk to Adam. Hey, you should talk to Adam. Hey, you should. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll talk to Adam, and we finally connected, and it's good to meet you, man.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Super exciting with this building going on here, all the work going on. It's such a huge building, and we'll get to that in a second. But before we start talking about your specific project, let's talk about Woodworth just at large. Who are you guys? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah. So Woodworth Commercial, based out of Owosso, Michigan. It's founded by Randy Woodworth about 11 years ago, I believe, if I'm recalling it correctly. But Randy's been selling real estate for about 30 years now. Decided to go on his own about 11 years ago, formed Woodworth Commercial. We are an exclusive commercial real estate brokerage. We don't mess around with any residential stuff. It's just not our wheelhouse. And, we like to just kind of sniper dial in right on commercial. That way we can cater to it specifically. Yeah. So a few years back, he actually expanded out to the Okemos market. We have Todd Costa running that office out there. I joined on with Woodworth Commercial about 3 years ago, about 3.5 years ago. And now we are starting to venture out to the Bay City market, which is going to be my stomping grounds coming forward. So, yeah.
Expand the circle a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that. What got you guys interested in expanding specifically to Bay City area?
Well, there's, Owosso, Shiawassee County's got Owosso in particular has got about 13,000 people. And, you've got a big fish like Randy, and you've got Todd Costa just on the outskirts there. And then I come in, and I'm a very hungry person myself. And we decided, if we're all going to eat and eat well, we're going to have to branch out a little bit. So I started picking around and stuff. And, I looked at Flint, and I looked at some neighboring cities that were larger than Owosso. And then I got in contact with some people from Saginaw Psychological Services. They were looking for a new home to house all their different businesses into one building.
Yeah.
So we started digging, and we found the Allen Medical Building. So we toured them through there, and I fell in love with the building immediately. I just saw a ton of potential in this building. And push come to shove, they didn't end up going for the building, but I called Randy up and I said, dude, you got to check this thing out. So he comes up, and immediately same thing. He walks in, he's like, wow, this has a lot of potential. And then, we just started digging and made a deal on it and closed it. And then it was off to the races from there. But
so if I were to go into the Allen Medical Building, I wouldn't see it as potential. I'd be like, wow, there's no way I could even start rehabilitating this place or using this place. Like, I don't see the potential. I see like my life will fall apart if I try to fix this place. But you guys walk in there and you're like, man, there's potential. Like, so excited about the potential. Specifically, what kind of potential did you see in a building like that? Because it is huge.
Yeah, you've got 56,000 square feet in the building, right?
Wow.
And you've got, I think, about 36,000 net rentables. So when you take out stairwells, common area, boiler rooms, and elevators and stuff like that, you got about 36,000 square feet. But with it already being broken down into about 40 different individual suites, and inside those suites, you've got plenty of water run, you've got plenty of drains, you've got plenty of power throughout the building. So all of the bones are there. Now, if you have enough vision and you can see that, you can say, wow, that suite right there, it's 2,500 square feet. That would make a great accounting firm, or that might, that'll be a great autistic therapy center. It could be whatever you want. It's a blank canvas, but you've got all the bones there. And I should preface this by saying that Randy has developed, I don't know, at least a dozen buildings that I know of in, the Shiawassee County market. So he's used to taking these old buildings that people kind of forgot about, and then he's got great vision too. So we can look at it and say, man, if we just tweak this, blow that wall out, and then open this up, this is going to be a really cool space. And that's what we're doing, over at this building now.
Wild. Yeah. And also preface that I've been in one of those buildings in Owosso, specifically on the historical preservation side of it. And I remember feeling the same thing walking into that building, getting ready for the interview, going, I don't even know how people start thinking about doing something like that. So it's really reassuring for me to have somebody from outside the community come in with a lot of successful experience taking on a building like that. Because from a citizen perspective, somebody comes in, purchases the building, and then it ends up sitting completely vacant for the next 75 years because they couldn't quite manage the project. Everybody loses. The owner loses. We lose as a community because it could have been something, but it's not. And so it's really refreshing having you guys come in, take on this huge building, and already have so much momentum behind it. It's super cool.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of positive feedback from all of Bay City, but the West Side in particular. When we first envisioned the building, we were thinking, okay, accountants and lawyers and insurance people and business professionals. And, we just we put it out there with that in mind, and we put it up for rent and just to kind of get some pre-leases going on. So, and then the calls that started coming in weren't that at all. We were really surprised to see that it was the wellness industry that reached out in abundance. And we had a ton of hairstylists calling and massage therapists and psychological services, things like that just called, and we're like, wow. And they wanted it. They wanted it right now. And everybody was basically saying there's just nothing like this right now around here, this big, and that it'll be a big community and a big campus of wellness individuals. Yes. So
and that's what struck me too when I toured the place with you a couple weeks ago. It is essentially a community within a community. Not only is it cool because it's on the west side, but the building is so massive. I think you said 40 something suites. I mean, you go there and there's a lot of people doing stuff in that little 1 block radius. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So when did you guys first start work on the building?
We immediately, first started work. We immediately, once we bought it, we knew, something drastic had to happen, right? So we immediately got painters to come in and just repaint the entire exterior of the building because it looked like an insane asylum. And, nobody's trying to work in an insane asylum.
Right.
So we painted the building. Then we got all new landscaping done throughout the whole thing. We paid, I think, like $30,000 in landscaping, just putting in trees and bushes and stuff to kind of warm up the whole place. And then on the inside, in order to start marketing it, we needed to paint the whole inside on the main floor and new carpet throughout the whole thing. So, what we had to do just to get the project off the ground was like, let's say $200,000 worth of let's just make it pretty so we can start marketing, right?
Right.
So
yeah, it definitely hard on the outside. If I'm somebody looking for a space, I might not have the same vision. And so I look at this building that's new and people are talking about it, and immediately I'm like, oh, there's not a chance I want it. The bones are there, the space is there, the project, but if it doesn't look a certain way, hard to get momentum behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you guys started doing this exterior work. About when did that begin?
We purchased it in late July, and I believe we were doing the exterior work around September. Okay. August, September, we were doing the paint because that needed to happen prior to it getting too cold outside.
Yeah, right.
And then once it started to get a little colder is when we started to do the interior flooring, painting, things like that.
Okay. Yeah, and when I was walking around, there is definitely stuff going on the inside. We're past that point of just the exterior pretty stuff, like the things getting ripped out. Can you tell me at all any of the businesses going in there, what we have to look forward to?
Yeah, sure. So we've got right now the pre-leases and some executed leases that we've got done, that we've started build out on a few of them. We've got 26% occupancy right now. Cool. So in there we've got the biggest one that stands out to me that a lot of people are familiar with is Replenish Juice Bar. Replenish Juice Bar is owned by this husband-wife combo, Greg Buzzard. That guy's barbecue. So big guy around town here that everybody seems to know.
I love Greg.
Yeah, he's great. So we're chugging along on that one. So they're actually in there painting right now.
Nice.
And then upstairs we have a salon suite going in. It's called Monarch Suites, and it is about 3,600 square feet. It's a former doctor's office that we've taken every patient room and converted it into a salon suite. So that one is nearing completion as well. So we're hoping to have that one done by about May 1st. Additionally, we just signed up Total Kidney Care to join us in there. So Dr. Salami's coming over.
Cool.
And Affordable Hearing Store is joining on the same side as Salami in that wing. So they sell highly discounted custom hearing aids. So
you got like a grab bag of stuff over there.
It's all fun. Not to mention there's a ton of individual stylists throughout the building, massage therapists. There is also Griffin Transit, or their taxi service.
Awesome.
So we have a lot. There's a couple that are up and coming. There's,
top secret, probably.
Yeah. Well, there's one that's a really interesting idea that was pitched to me that I've never heard of before, and it was a mocktail bar, just somewhere where you can go and have business meetings and stuff, and get a cocktail without having it be alcoholic. And they say there's not a lot of places for non-drinkers to go to and have a good time. It's always a bar, and so that was pitched to me, and I really love the idea. And we're just kind of working through the details on that one.
How cool. So you said 26% occupied?
Right now, yep.
Okay, so if I'm a person listening to this and I have a business that has a home, but I'm looking for a new one, or I'm trying to get something off the ground, and I do need a space other than maybe my house or my basement. Like, what are... I don't want to say like what do the suites look like, but kind of like walk me through like the potential of this. Are you guys doing build out? Like, talk to me through this as a potential new tenant.
Sure. It's we have suites ranging anywhere from, if you just want one single private room, maybe 200 square feet, we have stuff all the way down to that size, and you can just take a suite. Now the good thing is all your utilities, short of the internet, your gas, electric, water, trash, all that stuff's all included in your rent. So you could get a small suite all the way down to 200 square feet, or you could go all the way up to 11,000 if you needed a whole wing. And as far as build out goes, we're very flexible on what we'll do to work with a tenant. We can either finance the build out into their lease. So if you need $2,000 in build out done, we can do the build out, and then your lease, just divide that over the term and just pay it back to us.
Okay.
We offer things like that. So
wow, how cool is this? I'm super stoked for you guys. I'm stoked for the West Side. I'm stoked for this building. Obviously the demand is there because here you are practically just beginning work and already 26% filled, and I'm sure more and more people kind of looking your way to find a new home. So that says good things not only for your building but for the community, that there's a healthy population of people starting businesses or trying to grow or needing facilities like this.
Yeah, this is kind of like the incubator. Although a well-established building is more than business is more than welcome to come to the building, right? But this is also for the people that are making that step out of their basement, or like let's take Griffin for example. Griffin was operating out of their house. They had 14 drivers, with all the employees and drivers, they had 14 people. That's 14 cars in front of their house every day, plus their taxis and everything.
Yeah.
So now they're all in the building. Absolutely. They were a little nervous to take the plunge. They were just looking for a tiny little room and ended up in like a 600 square foot suite, and they're loving it. They've got a break room. They've got plenty of room to spread out. Like the drivers come and go as they please. They've got a parking lot, and speaking of parking lot, we're tearing out the parking lots all in May and completely redoing them. So
awesome.
New parking lots. We got Tesla chargers. We're going to have food trucks lined up. It's going to be a spot, man.
Oh, that's going to be so cool. So if people are listening to this and they want either more information or maybe kind of stalk you guys a little bit on Facebook and they're not quite there yet, how can they get in contact with you? How can they follow you?
They can either join us on Facebook, either at Woodworth Commercial on our Facebook or Instagram, or there is a Facebook for the Bay Professional Building as well.
Okay.
That one's monitored by me directly. The Woodworth is our corporate email or our corporate Facebook. So either one will get to us.
Okay, cool. So people, if you're listening at home, probably your best bet, the Bay Professional Building Facebook page. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, that's going to go right to me.
Awesome. So check it out, Bay Professional Building Facebook page. shoot Adam a message if you're interested. He's a nice dude and doing great things in the community. Adam, thanks so much for stopping by today. Thanks so much for the work that you're doing for us here in Bay County.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.